It's right here. We're just using it.
We are going to have a mirror match, which makes me happy because we put the enemy Q indicators in late yesterday.
Oh, so can you explain that again? That's like a whole newer aspect of champ design that players might not be super familiar with. Wow, that's Helzer telling me to shake it is actually a buddy of mine. These enemy Q indicators. Can you talk about those a little bit?
We generally try to have good ways for you to tell in a mirror match whether an effect originated from your allied champion or from the enemy version of the champion. For instance, CS soldiers have red armor if their enemy is CS.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we've always been doing this. The question is always it's a very subjective judgment call on where we should be doing this, and it was a good argument we made that we shouldn't be doing it for the Q, because the Q ground indicator being red sort of reads as this is danger to you, but it's not dangerous, right? It's the opposite of that. If the enemy Taliyah is standing inside that work ground, then she actually is less dangerous.
Sure, yeah.
But it's still important for you, if you are playing the Taliyah in a mirror match, to know if a given circle on the ground is going to make you weaker or the enemy weaker.
Absolutely.
So we ended up going with reddish circles for the enemy.
Well, and it's a bit nuanced too, because if you're in the workaround, your Q is weaker, but it also costs less as well, right?
It costs less. You get a little bit of movement speed, but honestly, it doesn't make up for the fact that you get one missile instead of 5.
For sure, absolutely, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
We tried very hard at the beginning to find like other subtle ways of making the workaround Q not feel awful. It was like maybe it's 8 missiles when you're on fresh ground, and it's just 3 when you're on work ground, but turns out that's not enough of a distinction, so we just went hard. We said you only get the missile barrage if you are on fresh ground.
Awesome, folks. We are in the game. Okay, so we're going to be going through here, and during the game, we're going to try and pull some stuff out of chat. So give us your Taliyah questions again. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about various other things like champ mastery and things like that. We're going to focus pretty much exclusively here on Taliyah, maybe making fun of Daniel Klein a little bit,
acceptable.
And maybe Blake's gameplay if he ends up deserving it. Although he's probably not. Can you guys hear his mouse clicks? That EPM is outstanding. Holy.
This is what you need to do if you want to get better at the game. Click fast.
Yeah. Holy. Wow. Yeah. You guys.
Every night I sit there for hours just clicking a mouse.
One moment, actually. Blake, can you actually go into your settings real quick and turn on vertical sync? I apologize for ruining your solo level 1 invade.
Yeah.
Make sure vertical sync is enabled.
Yeah.
Let me go check that.
I'll talk about jungle Taliyah while you guys figure that stuff out. People are asked about jungle Taliyah. I'm always wrong when I make these predictions, but I'm still going to do it again and say she will not be jungled successfully. Her first clear is awful. She does not have the mana sustain. She has to constantly cast spells on cooldown in the jungle to live and clear fast enough. I may very well be wrong here, but honestly I think this one is actually going to land where we want it to, which is mid lane. And oh my god.
I go to tower. Blake, I apologize. Can you go back to tower 1 moment? I just need to mess with your sound settings again. Sorry. So pop open sound.
Yeah.
And let's actually turn on your sound. That would be good.
That would be good.
Cool. So let's go to like 50 or so.
Master volume?
Yeah, go to 50. All right, Twitch chat will let us know.
Yeah.
Twitch chat is so helpful. How that ends up working.
Another good question from Twitch chat already. Why does exhausted ground last for 3 minutes? Question. That's exactly what it does, by the way. It lasts 3 minutes. It does go down with CDR. So the way I think of exhausted ground, or rather work ground, sorry, I keep calling it by the old name. We called it exhausted ground in production. Oh, you just missed the CS there, by the way, Blake.
Oh, it's over.
Just making sure you noticed that. I think of it as a secondary cooldown, one that is tied to a position on the map. Because there is quite a lot of space actually to make critical work ground, and because you can roam and go elsewhere, we found that anything shorter than 3 minutes didn't actually give us the results we were looking for. Oh, did you mean to bump away from you?
I did not.
Okay, good. Didn't see it. So yeah, what we ended up doing is we kept upping the duration of work ground until it felt meaningful. I think I started at like 40 seconds or so. I was like, yeah, no, that does absolutely nothing.
This is super interesting. I was a little confused at what I was seeing, but it looks like there is a worked ground indicator for both when you're standing on it as well as when you're not, in which case it's much lighter. So if he moves in right there,
if he moves
out
to
of
the
this
other one, which he can't right now,
gotcha.
But yeah, if he moves to the other one, you'll see the highlight changing over.
Got some questions here. What's your auto attack range?
Can you mouse over that? Auto attack range?
I believe
it's your attack damage. I think it's 550 or 500. I'm not even sure. One of the two. It is a mage auto attack range.
Mage auto attack range. There you go, folks. We have all the answers here on the League live stream.
Professional me.
So just to set some context for
is that a jungle Twitch?
I mean, Yeah.
Okay, good.
With some kind of shotgun too.
He is
It all makes sense.
legit.
Oh wow!
Oh my god. You see how good Taliyah is?
Guys,
He
this is
doesn't do
the
anything.
Twitch Champion Spotlight, the Twitch PvE live
Yep,
stream.
yep, yep. That's pretty good.
So, folks, just for those of you just tuning in, this is the League live stream series. We're actually on PvE today. We've got designer Daniel Klein behind Taliyah's gameplay. We've got our friendly neighborhood playtest team member Blake over there to be impressing us with his skills while Daniel focuses on talking to you guys about Taliyah. And I'm just sitting here, not really contributing much. I'm Adil Most Dirty, though, member of the North American Player Relations team. We're doing these streams just to pretty consistently get you guys in touch with the people behind League. We're doing a bunch of different streams kind of every day. On Tuesdays, obviously focusing on PvE, but feel free to tune back other days for different kinds of things like design streams, all chat streams, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So hit us with your questions in chat. Give us at League Community so we can be seeing them.
I see so many questions, but
This is a good one.
there's
right
one that scrolled past while
Oh,
you were
sure.
talking about something. I didn't listen to you there. Is a W a skill shot like Cho'Gath's, or is it a point and click? It is a skill shot. It's exactly like Cho'Gath. Actually, in development, we call the W Rupture Toss because the timing is so similar to Cho'Gath's Rupture.
Wait, so it's actually a joke? It's just like, this is rupturing? Let's do it?
Well, it's a rupture that tosses you. So
Okay,
it's called
sure.
Rupture Toss.
Yeah, there you go,
Makes sense. Yeah. Very important. Oh, as he
bug.
survives this, maybe there's a bug. Found a bug. So,
Kenneth Young, man.
stop me if I'm going too deep down this rabbit hole.
You're
But Cho'Gath's Rupture is pretty dodgeable, but for pretty bad reasons. So Cho'Gath's Rupture gives you a half-second warning of a pretty large area. The area is about, I think, 350 for Cho'Gath's Rupture. As we see a kill here. Very good. Nicely done.
We don't need you this
The
time.
problem
Twitch.
with Cho'Gath's Rupture is it has two delays. So it has the first delay where Cho'Gath just stands there and casts, and it's a half second. Cho'Gath has to decide at the beginning of a half second where he wants Rupture to go. Then it's invisible to the enemy where he casts it for that half second. After it becomes visible to the enemy, he can move again, and it's another half second before it actually erupts.
Gotcha.
Which means the enemy only has a half second to cast, and it becomes a prediction game for Cho'Gath. Predict where they're gonna go.
Sure.
It is not entirely clear to the enemy why sometimes the Ruptures hit super well and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they feel very dodgeable and sometimes they don't. So I did something different here. The full warning time of Rupture on the Cho'Gath is 1 second, so half second basically. I decided 0.85 seconds with a slightly smaller radius is going to be okay as long as we show the warning from the very beginning. So this is what we in design call a perfect information game for both sides. Both players have all of the information to play around from the very beginning.
Okay.
They have slightly shorter to dodge than they would for Rupture, but visually they have more time to dodge. So what that results in, if I did my job right, is a much fairer ability. And that's probably way too deep down that rabbit.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand everything you just said, but somewhere out there's somebody who's watching. Is like, yes, I understand you. Right. So it was all worth it for that player, folks. A couple things. We've obviously got a ton of people watching. Questions are pouring in hot and heavy. We're gonna do as many as we can. Help out your fellow viewers. If you see a question that's already been answered, we'll get to it. I'm seeing a couple ultimate questions.
I'll get to those in just a second. I saw a
Go
great
ahead.
one. Just before that, because it's a very easy to answer question. Oh, we see a perfect game. Look at that.
Well, that's what the ult is for.
That
folks.
is exactly how you're supposed to use the art. You're gonna see that in a champion spotlight, but I kind of wish we recorded this for a champion spotlight because this was good.
What was that? That was
There's the enemy Taliyah trying the
man.
same thing, but she chose not to ride it. That's smart.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
It's
So-
not good for her to go into.
Very quick question: does enemy Taliyah's workaround count for you? The answer is it does not. You do not interact with the enemy. So we saw a couple of questions about the art. We saw
Twitch
here-
chat losing its mind.
Well, that is what you just saw. There's the absolute best case situation for Taliyah. And wow, who's the enemy bot lane? It's Jin and Sona, isn't it?
Folks, this I gotta say, yeah, I believe it was, I think it was Jin and Sona. Folks, some of you are gonna recall this. So for our previous PvE streams, we've been asking the designers to do
Yeah,
double duty
not a good idea.
in terms of playing the game and talking to you. And we're not gonna lie, it's been a little challenging from times, and you guys have been pretty mean. We want you to know that this time the shoe is on the other foot, and Blake will have no mercy. Blake, tell them how much. Blake, tell them how much mercy you have for them.
0.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you guys get.
So what I wanted to point out there before we go deeper into the art is Taliyah's matchups, her favorable matchups, are actually not in mid.